Yoshi's Story is a fantastic game. I played it a lot when I was very young. It never quite hit the mark the same as Yoshi's Island did for me, but Yoshi's Story is a great entry in the Yoshi franchise. It originally came out December 21st, 1997 in Japan, and internationally February 9th, 1998. This game's a lot of fun. Does it still hold up? Let's get into it. The story of this game is that the Yoshis are on Yoshi's Island. They're happy and joyful. They have this thing called the Super Happy Tree, and it's like a fruit, and it provides them happiness. Baby Bowser is annoyed by this and becomes envious and steals the Super Happy Tree and casts a spell to turn Yoshi's Island into a pop-up book. With the spell, it makes all the Yoshis fall into gloom. They turn depressed. 6 baby Yoshis survive that, as in they weren't affected by it. They hatch, and they realize something's wrong, and they go on a quest to save the Super Happy Tree and get it back from Baby Bowser. In this game, you'll have 6 different baby Yoshis you can play as. They all are a multitude of colors. You can even unlock a secret white and black Yoshi as well. With Yoshi, you can flutter jump to hover in the air. You can use his long tongue to snatch enemies from a distance and even collect fruit. You can do a ground pound. He can push blocks. Everything you would expect that was in Yoshi's Island. The whole gameplay loop of this game is that there's 30 fruit you need to collect in each level. So if you played Yoshi's Island, you would play through the level and there'd be an end goal, and you can get collectibles along the way, like the star points, the red coins, the big flowers. There's collectibles you can get on here, but the main goal of the level isn't to go through like a goalpost. It's the levels loop once you get to the very end of them. So the whole goal is to collect 30 fruit. Now, certain fruits give you more points, such as the melons. You want to get as many certain fruits in a row to get more points, and each Yoshi has like a favorite fruit, and even before you pick a world or a level, you'll be like picking a lucky fruit. So that's the whole plot of this game. It may seem simplistic and like not really challenging, but it can be challenging. In each level, there's 30 melons, and a lot of people probably don't know that. You know, people probably just grab fruits and just call it a day. But there's 30 melons in each level, and melons give you the most points out of any fruit. And so it can be a challenge to find those. The main gameplay of this game is to explore. You know, there's no like real main goal. The developers really just wanted you to explore each area and find secrets, and I like that. While you don't need to collect all the melons, you can just collect any fruit. The melon challenge itself is what a lot of people strive for, to get like the highest score once you beat a level. But you can collect any fruits that you really want. There's a total of 6 worlds, or 6 pages in this pop-up book. Each level has 3 giant hearts to collect. Now, you want to find these hearts because they unlock more levels in the next page or world. So, if you don't find any of the big heart collectibles, when you go to World 2, you'll only be able to pick level 1. But if you got all 3 hearts in World 1 or Page 1, World 2, levels 2, 3, and 4 will become available. So you really want to find those hearts, and that's basically like the main way you can say you 100% this game, because there's not really a 100% completion bonus. Every time you play a level, you unlock it in trial mode, and that lets you like replay levels whenever you want. So basically, you just want to play every level in the game so you unlock them in trial mode. And I guess that's what you could say is a true 100% completion, because there's really not besides that. The game doesn't keep track of all the hearts you've acquired in each level, because each story mode run, it resets the hearts, so you have to recollect them if you pick a certain level, which can kind of be weird and confusing. But just collect each heart, there's 3 in each level, and that unlocks more levels in the next world. Each world in this game, or book page, has a different theme. You'll start off in like a grassy terrain, then World 2 will be lava. World 3 is like the sky. World 4 is a jungle. World 5 is underwater. And World 6 is Baby Bowser's castle. There's 4 levels in each world. And some later levels, for example, if you're like in World 5, the water level world, the later levels won't even have water, you know? So it's usually like the earlier levels that have like the theme of that. Like World 2 early levels have lava and stuff. But not every level will have that type of terrain. But the art style on here with the pop-up book aesthetics, just like in Yoshi's Island with like the hand-drawn art, the art style on here is fantastic. I love it, and it looks awesome. And each theme of the world, each world, looks great too. As I've mentioned before, sure, in each level you can go ahead and just grab fruit and call it a day, but you really want to get as many types of fruit as possible to get the most amount of points. But really, try to get as many melons as you can in a row, and they're very hard to find. A lot of people pass this game off as like super easy. While it is not the most challenging game in the world, it can be very tricky to get all 30 melons in a level, and you'll really put yourself at risk of dying sometimes, especially like in Baby Bowser's castle with all the hazards. So it can be a challenge, and you really gotta look and explore for it, you know. And you got like coins to collect and even the big giant hearts, but there's also like melon challenges within each level. Some levels, you'll have a melon challenge where you have to flutter jump in the air as long as possible until you get to the goal. Some, a chain chomp will be like chasing the melons and you'll have to beat him there. And even one where you have to hold them without dropping them, and that can be tricky. There's many different types of melon challenges, and while you don't need the melons for 100% completion, because the only real collectible in this game is the hearts that you really like need, I guess. The melons will give you like a very good perfect high score, but the thing is you only get one shot at it. So if you mess up the melon challenge, you can't redo it unless you like reset your console and play the level again from the start. So you only get really one shot at it, and it can be like kind of a pain and irritating, but if you just go for the melons, it can be a game changer. Like the game could go from super easy to like, wow, this is pretty challenging. The music in this game is fantastic, I love it, it's very catchy. It's similar to Mario World, where the same like overworld theme is repeated, but with like different themes to it. Like in Mario World, you have the overworld theme, and then when you go underwater, it's the same theme, but like different pacing and slowed down. It's similar on here. You'll hear like the same theme for the most part, all throughout the game, each world, each level. But it'll have like a different theme to it. Sometimes it'll be like a rap beatbox beat to it, and then sometimes it'll be like very slow and like it sounds like it wants to put you to sleep. So I love the soundtrack on here. It's so catchy, and it's kind of very nostalgic too. And some songs, like the end credits when you beat a world, or every single world in a playthrough, it can kind of feel like somber-ish, but the soundtrack on here is fantastic. I love it. As I mentioned before, there's a white and black Yoshi that you can unlock in certain levels and specific worlds. This game really encourages exploration. Like, that's what it's all about. They want you to go find these hearts, they want you to look for coins, look for the melons, and you can even find these Yoshis. They're the same, as the main colored Yoshis you already have by default. For the exception, when you're at full health, the Yoshis will throw an egg and it will explode, and it can like do blast damage to all the surrounding objects. Like if you're throwing it at a bunch of concrete like blocks, so it can blow them all up in one hit. So that's awesome. But it's not like they have like a huge advantage over the other Yoshis besides that. In each level, if you collect, I believe, 6 fruit of the same fruit in a row, you can get a heart fruit. And this is like an invincibility power-up. The music changes, and while it's not like the star from the Super Mario franchise, where you can just like run through enemies, it makes you invincible on here, so you can just like not take damage, but you don't just like defeat enemies by touching them. So it's just like a standard invincibility, but it's still like it, and it's awesome. You can get a lot of these in a level just by collecting, like I said, I believe 6 same fruit in a row. The levels on here loop. There's no main end goal, as I mentioned before. So throughout these levels, it can be kind of long, I guess, and they like loop, and some things might be confusing. They introduced these characters called a Miss Warp, and they're different colors, like reddish pink, blue, yellow, green. And there's 4 of them in each level, and they're basically like teleporters, so they like fast travel you to certain parts of each level. So that's awesome, because like I said, these levels are kind of long, and if you want to go back to a certain specific point, you want to jump on their head and it'll take them there. So that's awesome. Yoshi also has a sniff ability on here, where he can smell out hidden items in the ground. If you really look around and explore, you can like sniff out items and he'll like let you know. You can find like coins, but you can really find melons, and that's awesome. So he'll like find the item, and then you just ground pound, and then either the coins or a melon will pop out. So I can't stress enough, they really encourage exploration on here. Like, that's the main goal of this game. If you die on here, the Yoshis don't really die, they just become like super sad. And a bunch of toadies, Baby Bowser's minions from Yoshi's Island, they'll come in and take your Yoshi and bring him back to his castle. So it's kind of like a Nuzlocke, where once you lose a Yoshi, you won't be able to use it for the rest of the game until you complete that run of the story mode. Unless you find a white Shy Guy. There's a white Shy Guy that only appears if you've lost a Yoshi. You find him in a specific level, and they can be hidden. Beat the level with him, and then when you go to the character select, right before the next Yoshi goes summon out, you'll have a Shy Guy with the Yoshis. If you pick the Shy Guy, he'll fly to Bowser's castle and save your Yoshi, and then you'll have him back. So that's awesome. And when I was a kid, I wasn't really even familiar with that. So your Yoshi's gone unless you find the white Shy Guy. Once you get to World 6, all 4 levels are different, but the final boss fight with Baby Bowser is the same. He flies on these little green ghost things, and you can throw an egg at the spikes on the ceiling, and they'll drop and hit him. You can also throw bob-ombs at him, and it's over pretty fast. And you can even have the fruit from the Super Happy Tree heal you. So the boss fights in general in this game, you always fight like a boss in World 3, if I remember correctly. And the boss fights on here, they're fun, but like they're like scale 1 to 10. They're like a 1 in difficulty. Probably not even that. But even so, they're still fun, and that's the whole premise of this game. It's not really supposed to be challenging. It's supposed to be like laid back, because they really just want you to enjoy yourself and explore, I assume. Once you take care of Baby Bowser and send him packing, the Yoshis celebrate and they get their Super Happy Tree back. And I would assume the Gloom Curse is done and all the Yoshis on the island are back to being happy again. And then the credits roll. You get a little montage of all the descriptions from each level and a quick little recap of what happened on your journey in that playthrough. So that's cool. And like I said, the music here is very somber-ish and it evokes a lot of emotions. While this game isn't the same level of depth as Yoshi's Island was, and it's not super hard, some things like the Shy Guys that drop these giant objects on you in certain levels, those can be like annoying to deal with, and some like stage hazards, level hazards. Overall, the game's difficulty isn't really hard. It's on the easier side, but even so, it's still a fun journey to have, and it's a very laid-back game, very cutesy, even with like the sound effects and the squeaky noises and everything. Even so, it's still a fantastic game in its own right. Like I said, it's not the same standard as Yoshi's Island was, but maybe that's just not the direction they were going with for this game. Maybe they wanted to try out something else. Yoshi's Story is a fantastic game. Go play it. Have fun. And just experience it, you know? I said it 1,000 times. This game really wants you to explore. Maybe that's why it's not super hard or challenging, because they really just want you to take your time and enjoy yourself, to explore each level to its fullest, find all those hearts in each level, coins, go for 30 melons, which can be a very daunting task. Some levels are easier to do it than others. Unlock all the levels in trial mode. Go play it. Have fun. It's on the Switch Online expansion pass, I believe. Go play it. Have fun. I'll see you next time.